Hey everybody, my name is Noah, and I wanted to make a video about the decision I recently made to quit my full-time job to work on Potion full-time. So I wanted to talk through kind of all the things I thought through and kind of my planning around this big decision, because this is a pretty big moment. Like, this is the moment that a lot of indie hackers kind of dream of, being able to work on your own project full-time. I know I've been thinking about this for quite a while and have been super excited to kind of be able to move into this point in my journey of building my own business. And so I've been really excited about it. But, I don't want to just quit my job and do things willy-nilly and just not be prepared and ready to kind of take life on, because there's still, bills to pay, things to do. And so there's a lot that I kind of thought through before doing this. So I want to just talk a little bit through that. And first off, I think that having a side business is a really great way to go. Like, have a full-time job and kind of build up your business on the side, prove that it's working, validate it. I think it makes a ton of sense to do that while you have a full-time job, just because there's not as much pressure on your business. Like, you don't just have to make this thing work in like a month or two. Like, you get some time to figure things out. And for me, I just don't really enjoy life when I'm just like putting all that stress on that and all that financial stress on it. And so that's why I kind of opted to kind of take my time and really have a full-time job as I'm trying to build out my business, my side business. And so that's kind of how I've done it. I've been working on Potion for the last year as a side business, and I've gotten it up to a little over 4,000 MRR a month. So it's making that much a month. And for me, that's like very close, not quite, but very close to paying all of my expenses for my family, house, mortgage, stuff like that. And we're kind of in a more expensive area, probably third or fourth most expensive city in the US. And so that makes that a little bit more challenging. One of the things, kind of tricks I could have done is just move to a cheap city, and that would have made things that much easier for me to go full time. But this is where we want to be, because this is where family's at. And so that was, something to take into consideration. So I wanted to be able to, prove that my business is working, and then get the revenue that I'm making from it, excuse me, very close to what my expenses are, to feel good about it, to not feel like all that stress. And then on top of that, I've been very blessed to be able to have some savings, kind of build up some savings as I'm working at my full-time job. And so I've been able to do that, which just kind of helps give some extra kind of padding. That along with having the revenue that Potion already makes, like, I could technically go on this, if Potion didn't continue to grow and just continue to make its same amount of money, I could probably do this for about 8 years, just because of how slowly it would start to go through my savings and the amount of savings that I have. So at least that's just something to think about, that I thought through, that, okay, it makes me feel good about this decision. Like, I have a good amount of a runway to be able to do this. But the other thing that I've been really blessed with is that my company that I worked at, my day job, they went public in this last year. And so I had some stock options. Like, that's probably like the best time to join a company, right before they go public. Cause I've worked there a little over 2 years. And so they went public, and I have some stock options that are worth a decent amount of money. And so, that's, just another thing that's kind of allowed me to be able to be in this situation, to have extra money on the side, to feel comfortable about working on Potion full time. Okay, so then other things to think about. I think the other great thing as a software developer is that you kind of want to think about, like, what's your fallback? If this doesn't work, what am I going to do? And as a software developer, I think that you have a lot of great fallbacks. Like, there's just tons of demand for software developers. If you're a software developer, you're probably getting like recruiters emailing you all the time. And so for me, I was just thinking, like, okay, if Potion doesn't work, it fails, something happens, there's platform risk, something changes. At the worst, I can always just go and like find a job, and I'll be okay. Like, I'm not going to have to burn through all my savings, hopefully, to do that. The worst case scenario isn't me just being with my family left on the street. I should be able to go back and get a job pretty easily. The other thing that I think I could do pretty easily is, if I need to make a little bit more money, because obviously I'm going to be making way less money than what my salary at my full-time job did, just with Potion. And so if I do need a little extra money, I think I could fairly easily do like a little bit of freelancing on the side if I need to, like work an extra 8 hours a week for someone else. I'm not planning to do that right now, but that's an option. Like that's an option that I could do. And so kind of all this put together, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot to really try to make a go at it with Potion. Like I think Potion has a lot of potential. There's so much work to do to make the business better, tons of marketing to do, tons of things I can do with the product. And so for me, I think it really makes sense for me to work full-time on Potion and really try to make this happen. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. And I'm really excited that I get to do this. Ideally, I don't want to have to ever work for someone else's company again. Like I really love building my own things. And so I'm really hoping that with Potion, I can really make that happen and just continue to do this, as I go. And it's kind of funny that, people always try to find like those moments where it's like, oh, you finally made it. And in some ways, like this is kind of it, where it's like, okay, I'm working on my own thing. I've kind of finally made it. And so it feels great to be at this point. But at the same time, there's still kind of a little pressure like, okay, am I actually going to make it work to where I can do this long term and never have to work for my employer again? Like there's always more questions. There's always like another bar, another level that you can go. And so I'm trying to just enjoy it and not get, stuck in that trap of like, all right, now I have to go to here, get to the next level. And yeah, just really enjoying this time as I get to work on my own thing full time. And so, yeah, pretty excited about it. I think that kind of wraps up all my thinking around this decision. Right now I'm just working on Potion full time by myself. I'm not planning on like hiring anybody. If I did that, that kind of takes all these financial questions to another level of would I actually be able to do that? And so I'm really, this next year kind of goal is to just work on it solo and really make it grow. And really the goal would be by the end of the year to get the Potion revenue back up to what I made with my full-time salary. Because right now Potion's maybe like a third of that. And so I have quite a bit of growing to do. But, last year I got to this point just working part-time. So I think that is a doable goal as I'm working on this full-time to really push it to that point. And obviously there's lots of other factors in there, how the market goes, things like that. But I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. And so I'm excited to do this. And so thank you for following along. Hopefully me sharing kind of my journey, decisions I'm making, what I'm doing can be valuable and helpful. I talked a little bit about this on my podcast as well, so I'll leave a link to that. But yeah, feel free to follow along on Twitter, the podcast, and I'll be kind of making more updates, videos here on YouTube as well. So thanks.